Speaking of the Indianapolis Colts, they were in the 12th man, or the NFL version of the 12th man, in Seattle. Now, I just spoke about the Indianapolis Colts being in free fall against the Jacksonville Jaguars in the division. That's true. Now, the Jaguars are in sole possession with 3 games left, with an important game they had on the slate this week. Arguably one of their more difficult matchups of the year, but it would be without Daniel Jones. And in came 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. And as my son alluded to, had not played for 5 years. I mistakenly thought he had played. He had been on a roster. I think what it was, he was asked to come out of retirement and he refused. Anyway, nonetheless, this guy comes out, ain't played a lick of ball in 5 years, and goes 18 of 27, 120 yards of scoring and interception. This is relevant because they kept him clean. And they were able to, for the most part, stay in this game. Now, I get it. Indy's got a good defense, a very, very good defense. And this is why they want a quarterback that gives them the opportunity to make plays, but not hurt them. Cam Newton.
Dumb shit. Dumb shit.
Of course, this good Seattle front said, hey, look, we're not going to let Jonathan Taylor beat us. He had 25 carries for 87 yards. Neither team could establish the run, as Seattle was only able to do 50 yards on the ground. But I think that was a simple case of giving up a little too early, maybe. But then when you've got Sam Darnold just throwing the way he's throwing, and despite what it said, he had 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He was sacked once. But when you go back and you look at this team and as a whole, Jackson Smith-Njigba's just been that dude. 7 grabs, 113 yards, 0 touchdowns. He was the lone fantasy option that filled up the plate. Let's just be frank with it. He was the lone guy that did his thing. I mean, because needless to say, he racked up over 20 fantasy points on this day. So when you look at this game and you look at how these two defenses went at each other, and you saw that each team was not willing to give. And it's impressive that Indianapolis was able to come into the 12th man and even make this a matchup. Think about it. It took a late kick from Seattle to win this game. So I don't have any small hopes for Indianapolis. I do think they've got to play better. The defense is going to have to create turnovers. That's where they're at right now. The offensive line is going to have to pave the way for Jonathan Taylor. And they're going to have, Shane Steichen and company are going to have to get more creative with the running game. I think the best way you do that is you get guys like Amir Abdullah, as well as getting Tyler Warren in different setups. You may have to run some wildcat. Because ultimately, until Phillip Rivers gets up to speed on this playbook, you're going to have to do some things differently. And running the football is where your bread and butter is. And you're not going to be able to do that with teams like Seattle stacking the box and bringing guys up on the line of scrimmage. You cannot allow that to happen. Now, I get it. There are going to be lesser defensive fronts that are going to be as stout. But when you got guys like Ernest Jones and Nick Emonrory that are up there just killing it, who also had a sack, can't say anything else about it. Yeah, this was an exciting game, and it was great to see Phillip Rivers back out there. One of my all-time favorite quarterbacks. Would love to see him get a ring, just not this year. As for Seattle, they are still kicking along in that crazy NFC West that is basically the battle of the two best teams in all of the National Football League, and with two great defenses and arguably two of the best offenses in the National Football League. This is going to be a fight to the wire as Seattle goes to 11-3.